Hi everybody, welcome to Manga Palate. This is the show where I, Pasticia Luna, here with my co-host,
Manga Chef Isaiah.
and we watch and or fucking talk about a thing while it's in. That's kind of it. What are we watching this week? Come on, you picked it.
Mura Sensei Sento Gakuen?
Fuck, that was close, I guess. Murenase Seton Gakuen. That's
Uh,
that's what it was.
Seton.
Seton. It's,
Okay, that's
it's
easy.
the name. It's written in like katakana, so I don't even know what it's supposed to mean. If it's supposed to mean something, it just kind of looks like a name. But Murenase means like come together, like as a group. So it's sort of like come together. This Shiton school or academy. So yeah, that's. Well, yeah. Okay, cool. So hold on a second. Yeah, so Murenase Shiton Gakuen started on January 7th, 2020 and ended on March 24th, 2020. And there's a lot of fucking people, so let's just go over, I don't know, five of them, the main ones, the ones that are always there. There's Jin Mazama, who's voiced by Haruki Ishiya. He was in the Cyborg 009 3D animated movie, which is wild. He was also on Kono Oto Tomare, which I really love because it's about music and like traditional Japanese music and the koto, and that's cool. There's the girl that he's in love with, Hitomi Hino, who's voiced by Yume Miyamoto, who was on like Katsu Stars, and you might remember that name, probably don't, but she was on Good Jobu because she was Megumi.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. The one who was worried about her weight, remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So
She ate too many
Ranka
sweets.
Okami.
Right.
yeah, too many sweets. Yeah. Then there's Ranka Okami, who is voiced by Hinakino, who was on Asobi Asobase, and was also on the TV show the Watashi ni Tenshi ga Mayorita. Then there's Yukari Komori, who is voiced by Misaki Kuno, who was on Sangatsu no Lion, Happy Sugar Life, and also in Idolmaster Cinderella Girls as Nina Ichihara. And I guess there's also worth mentioning the panda, Mei, who's voiced by Yu Serizawa. I don't know if that name sounds familiar. We've talked about her a bunch before. She's on 3 different things we've talked about. She's on Shomin Sample as Aika Tenkubashi. She was on Real Girl or 3D Kanojo as Iroha Igarashi. And she was on Jitsu wa Watashi wa as the main girl, Yoko Shiragami. The sloth is there, Miyubi, but Miyubi says like 6 words. Maybe. Fun fact, Miyubi is voiced by Konami Kohara, who was Chika Fujiwara in Kaguya-sama wa Kotaranai. Remember? Cheating at card games.
Oh,
Just cheating at card games.
yeah, I hate.
There's a bunch of other voice actors that I think are like interesting to mention, but less so than they are like super important. So I'll probably toss them in later. Anyway, what's the show about?
It's about a school full of animals where they, I don't know, just live together, basically.
Yeah, it's basically School of Animals.
And our main guy hates animals.
Correct. That's the part
He's a
I
human.
love the most. So the thing is, everybody's name is kind of an animal pun, to some degree or another. For example, Jean, his name is the way you read the character for human, right? So like you say ningen, human, nin is person. You can also say Jean, or you could also say hito. So like otoko no hito is like man. And that's the name of the girl he likes, Hitomi. So it's Hito is right in there. It's another person whose name has person in it. The wolf girl, her last name is Wolf. It's just her name.
That's not fun.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of things. The cat, her name is Nekomai. That Neko. It's just cat. It's in there. The teacher, who's a Tyrannosaurus Rex, cause fuck you. His last name is Terano, which just sounds like Tyrannosaurus. So that's yeah. The hyena is named Iena, cause hyena. That's yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I love the
yeah,
way
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he got so lazy.
I don't know if it's lazy or if it's supposed to be a joke, but it does make it easy to remember what the hell their names are. You're like, what's that guy's name? His name is Human. Yes, that makes sense. I got it. So, yeah, it's kind of just animal school. He hates animals. He goes to animal school, presumably because he lives in the area and it's a nice school. And they're like, go to this animal school. He's like, okay, fine. He hates animals, so he's learned a lot of ways. He's learned a lot about animals because he hates them. I totally understand that. Like, I didn't like spiders, so I learned so much about spiders that now I no longer fear them. They're just sad entities. So that's cool. And so yeah, he just learned a shit ton about animals, and it's about him dunking on animals at the school while the wolf goes, "We're best friends now," and he goes, "No, please stop."
And she brings him towards the back.
It's so okay. So Killing Bites is about like a whole battle royale murder thing. And also, there's animal facts. This is essentially a harem and goofy hijinks. Also, animals.
It's a harem?
Oh yeah, like 5 people like him. The panda likes him. The wolf likes him. The actual human girl likes him. And then if you're reading the manga, there's like a bat. And
I saw the bat.
There's a lot of other things.
And the giraffe, I guess.
Oh,
does that count in harem?
I guess I mean. The giraffe I wouldn't count because the giraffe is a joke.
Uh-huh.
The joke of the giraffe is that the giraffe wants to fuck him. Also the otter and the eye that are like, oh, he doesn't hate me even though I'm weird. It's like that's a thing. But yeah, it's like 4, 5 girls who like him, and he only cares about one of them. So I based on the way you said, oh, I know about the bat, then I guess you read the manga, huh?
I didn't catch up.
Right.
This is a lot.
Okay. Yeah, it's 100 chapters. It's still going too, so you know.
I saw the way the bat tries to help him, and he just fails.
I mean,
like he has a shirt that says "Jin is #1."
Oh yeah, the II. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that the II kept doing things for him, and then it fucked it up. And Jin's at the end was like boiling the II alive. I'm like, why are you doing this? He's like, he clearly wants to fuck with me, so this is what we're doing. It's like, no, I admire you. And it's like, what? I don't. So it's really cool if you know animal things. So since you saw the show, presumably, and read the manga, so you saw how different it was, right?
It wasn't that different.
Nah, shut the fuck up. The hyena does not know anything about the sister at all. The way that the Neanderthal girl breaks down at the end, that's nothing like in the manga. Because in the manga, it's about the hyena. Oh, okay. No, like
I only got to like chapter 20.
Oh, okay. Wait, then how do you know about the bat? The bat's at like chapter 80.
I thought II was the bat.
No, the II is a thing. There's a bat girl. She is a vampire bat.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Okay. So, yeah, I thought you got caught up, and I was like, oh, okay, so then, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Well, yeah. If you're going to... Even then, like, I think the end of the sort of extinct species thing is, like, chapter 40, I think? I'm not sure right now, off the top of my head. But yeah, that part is like real different when you compare it to the way the manga did it, because the extinct, and that's the whole climax of the season. And I was like, that's a good place to put it, but because they made enough changes throughout the show, it sort of like blurs some things together, right? Like at the end of the show, there's the boxing match with the mammoth, and it's like that did not happen at all in the manga. The only thing that happened was that the Neanderthal girl fucking gave a karate chop to the back of the mammoth's neck and left. Like that's how that ended. Because the whole thing was actually yeah.
They didn't go to like the hot springs or anything.
Yeah, but that was a completely separate chapter. Like that had nothing to do with the other thing.
Oh, the boxing.
Like
thing.
the boxing thing entirely was completely made for the show. There was a boxing thing in the manga, but the boxing thing is about a wallaby and a kangaroo. Like, you know what a wallaby is? It's like a smaller kangaroo.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So like the wallaby and the kangaroo, the wallaby is getting picked on, And he's like, I want to form my own mob, which is what you call a group of kangaroos. And then Ranka goes like, all right, I'll help you. And then you can be part of my pack, because that's her thing. And he goes like, I don't know. And then Jean sort of helps train the little wallaby, and he gets his shit pushed in by a red kangaroo, which is the biggest kind of kangaroo. They're fucking massive. He gets his shit pushed in, but then he goes like, use all of your strengths, and he's like, what? And then, the little wallaby wins. And like, wow, what a fucking great, it's a whole thing, but it has nothing to do with the mammoth at all. The extinct species thing is like a whole separate thing that happens like 20 chapters after that, or like 10, 15. The Neanderthal girl hanging out with Hino, right? The human girl. That happens. But for example, the episode is basically half of it is Jean and Ranka are off somewhere because Ranka is going into heat, and the other half is Hitomi hanging out with An, right? Like Anna, that's her name, and introducing her to the cooking club. In the manga, those are two completely different chapters. They have nothing to do with each other. Jean is there when the Neanderthal girl comes in, and that's part of why he thinks she has feelings for him. So like that's like a whole thing.
So obviously the manga's way more, but
because I think it's the same thing that happened in Jitsu wa Watashi wa, which is there's a whole lot of shit you could cover, and the easiest way to do it is to blur the line on some of those things. And I'm not against it. If anything, I feel like it makes a more cohesive narrative for the show. I just don't like it as much because I feel that the Neanderthal girl ending up really good friends with the hyena was because the hyena gave like a whole manly speech, was a really good thing because it showed that they don't need Jean to be around for them to have fucking friends, because otherwise the entire thing is predicated on Jean and Ranka, and like there's a lot of chapters that are like, no, everybody else has their own things going on. And you know me, I love the ensemble a lot more.
The what?
Ensemble. It's when you have a bunch of different people who are all developed in their own way. Yeah, I love ensembles like a lot. So for me, I feel like that kind of removed it, because for the show they were like, no, Ranka has to be the one who stands up for the Neanderthal girl and like shit like that. And it's like, whatever. I don't have anything against the wolf. It's just like now, but then the friendship building thing doesn't get to happen. Also, there's a whole bunch of shit that happens before that just gets completely ignored and cut. Like the woolly spider monkey lady who's their teacher. Like she's never there at all. Or the bonobo monkey girl. And I get that because they weren't like majorly important, but they come up a bunch of different times. So I would have figured, hey, especially leading up to that extinction bit. So I was like, maybe do something there. Because they did the whole episode about the beluga whale, right?
Mm-hmm. And the singing.
Yeah, the beluga whale. So like I was like, okay, but I guess I just don't know why the beluga whale. I guess maybe the beluga whale was supposed to be an emotional thing. Like it was more of a, I don't know. It's just I figured if the show was going to go for goofy, it made more sense to do the woolly spider monkey or the bonobo monkey or any of those other ones where it's more like just regular stupid bullshit as opposed to the whole like 3-part thing with the beluga whale and the dolphins.
Maybe they want to pad for time. Does it take longer?
Well, that's what I mean. I feel like you could have just used the goofy, stupid crap from the other ones, like the woolly spider monkey or the bonobo, or or the lion that gets fucked up all the time. Because they did the bit. They do have the running background thing of the lion who's in love with the impala, which is a thing that happens constantly in that fucking manga. Like every other chapter. Like every 5 chapters or so, the lion will be in the background doing something with the impala. Or like all of the omakes, all of the yonkomas in between are about the lion and the impala, which I find really funny. I dig that. There was one where like the lion wants to mate with her, and she's like, I don't know if I'm ready to do that, and he's like, I mean, fuck, I just I really want to, and she's like, yeah, I don't know, and he goes, okay, fine. And he has friends with the little opossum guy. He's not exactly an opossum. He's a specific species of rodent that I don't remember right now. But yeah, and then like they both go, yeah, man, we're by the end of this week we're both gonna mate with our girlfriends because they're in heat right now. It was like, yeah, and then like they go to Jin and they go like, "Hey, you have a lot of females. Please help us be strong enough to convince our girlfriends to mate with us." He's like, "What?" And yeah, okay, whatever. And then he puts them through a shit ton of training, and they get really buff and like shredded. And then the vole passes out, and then the lion's like, "No, my friend," and he like takes him to a hospital basically. He goes like, "What happened?" And he's like, "He's passed out. He's gonna pass out for 2 days." He's like, "Wait, but his girlfriend's mating cycle's gonna end soon." No. And they turn to Gene and is like, "You did this on purpose, didn't you?" And he goes like, "Yeah." "That little fuck didn't tell you." He's like, "Tell me what?" He's like, "When they mate, they die." He goes, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." So like, you know, I that's why his girlfriend doesn't want to mate with him, because she doesn't want to be the reason he dies. I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't." And the little vole guy wakes up and he goes like, "I knew." And the lion goes like, "Wait, you knew?" And he goes, "Yeah, but I'd be willing to do anything for her, even die, because I want to be one with her." And he goes like, "No." And then like it cuts to a random panel, and then like a panel of the vole guy coming back going, "Well, her heat cycle ran out, so that's, yeah, guess I gotta wait till next year." That sucks. And that's like the end of that. I'm like, you could have just used that didn't need explaining or anything. That's stupid bullshit you could just jam in there. I'm surprised you went for the beluga whale.
I mean, maybe they didn't want to show that an animal could die. I don't know.
I just figure if you're gonna randomly pick from different parts at the beginning, you could do that one, and that one would be fine. They did also in the show randomly have the lion flirting with his impala girlfriend. It's like, that's a thing. All right, so I guess my question is, did you enjoy it? Were you into it? I mean, you started reading the manga, so I guess you're in, right?
Yeah, I still like the manga.
Yeah, usually you either watch the show. Go on.
I just realized it might be like defrag. Like, if you like the specific joke, you'll like the show.
It's got a lot of animal humor, which I guess makes sense because most of it is predicated on the fact that they're animals. I don't think we mentioned this, but like I mentioned it when I talked about it in the end bumpers of our episodes. The girls look like humans with with like little animal features, like maybe animal ears or tails. That's it. And then the guys just look like the animal.
Yeah.
So I realize we haven't said that, but it's basically like, oh, it's a cat. It's like, yeah, it's a girl with cat ears and a tail. I was like, okay, what about the guy that's a cat? It is an actual cat standing upright in a business suit.
Oh my god. I remember when they showed the cats like all sad. I mean, like they were in heat or whatever, but they all didn't talk to each other.
Right, it was the cat marriage interview. It's the Omiai. The cat's
no
like,
one made a move.
Yeah. I love that the boxes of information about real animals where they're like, sometimes cats gather in large groups. And he was like, what's it about? The scientists don't know because they don't do shit. So and it goes to a scientist quote of like, yeah, we watch them and they just kind of lay around. So, you know, I don't know what they're up to, really. I'm an animal behavioralist, but I got nothing. And yeah, it's just the cat sitting around going like, no one's saying anything. Should I say something? No, I'm not going to say something. Someone else should say something. Which is the best. I love it.
But yeah, I feel like the show is mostly, you like animals? Here's jokes about animals.
Do you know things about animals? Here's a joke about an animal. Like the hyena having the clit pseudo dick. Yeah, go ahead.
And here's a picture of an animal in between, like the real animal in the anime.
Oh yeah. The what do you call it? The eye catch. The transition from the commercials. It's just the real animal in front and behind the drawing of the animal. So if like it's a girl, like the honey badger, they're like, oh hey look, it's the little honey badger girl, an actual honey badger, and it's like, okay.
I like that. It's still
the eye catches are fun.
But it's still like specific.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is predicated on going to a school that's like a fucking zoo, right? So there's like dozens of specific animals and shit. Like did you get to the chapter about the donkey? The donkey dude who goes to the anime club?
Oh, yeah. They were playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
So, that's specific, right? Like, that's fucking really specific. And it's like, that's not a fucking zebra, that's a quagga. And everyone goes like, what? Like, that's too specific of a joke. Like, you have to know what a quagga is to be able to appreciate that. It's so fucking dumb. Or the woolly spider monkey, or the bonobo chimpanzee. Well, like, because bonobos, like, they resolve situations by having sex. So there's the bonobo girl at the school that like she bumps into Hino and Hino falls down and she goes, I'm sorry. And she goes like, it's okay. And then fucking Jean comes over and he goes like, hold on, we're gonna go now. And she goes like, but I have to apologize. He's like, no, it's cool, we're leaving. And then yeah, Hino goes, hey, what was that about? He goes like, that's a bonobo. He's like, what about him? It's like, they look like chimpanzees, but their ears are pretty different because they're a different kind of chimpanzee. It's like, so why is it a big deal? And he was like, well, bonobos resolve everything by fucking. So, no. We don't. I didn't need her feeling up on the girl that I have a crush on. Mind you, cut to Bonobo giving a kabedon to Hino against the wall and kissing her neck and going like, I'm here to make you feel better. And he was like, whoa, hey. So yeah.
It's not appropriate.
Like, if you know what a bonobo chimpanzee is, the second he says that, you're like, oh, I get it. Oh, this ought to be fun. If you don't have that kind of oddly specific animal knowledge like I do, not that much fun, but it's still a goofy thing. It's still jokes.
You still get to learn about it,
Yeah.
I guess.
You learn in the process.
The only
Like
thing that
killing
doesn't make
bites.
sense is like the stink species. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, we want to get back our extinction, even though
Get
they're
revenge.
extinct.
Well, it's get revenge on the people who made us extinct, really.
Okay. I mean, aren't they supposed to be extinct, though? They're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, they should be all dead. But then again, there's like a school for them, so I think they're not actually all dead. Also, the T-Rex is their teacher, right?
That should be extinct.
And the T-Rex is... yeah, exactly. So I don't think that those rules apply. Although that does remind me, the current chapters that are running when we're recording this are about the T-Rex teacher and his high school years and how he had a crush
We're doing
on his
that.
Stegosaurus teacher. Yeah. It's the memories of, of your teacher. It's like, how did he become the man that he is? How did he choose to be a teacher? And it's like he had feelings for his teacher when he was in high school. And it's like the Tyrannosaurus, the Stegosaurus, and like other shit. And then like a nice pretty lady with like fins, because she's a Stegosaurus. The fins and tail.
How old?
That's it.
Did it say how old it was?
Based on the way she was dressing, it looked like it was...
I mean, how old,
the Taisho? The Taisho era? No, it didn't mention. It's just like, oh, this is a tale from the past. But it seems like it was the Taisho era, so let's say 1912, 1920 something. Because the lady was still dressing like women did in the Taisho era. That's not a thing people dress like anymore. So I'm gonna guess 1920, something like that.
So like 100-year-old dinosaur.
Yeah, and then they were talking about like, oh, there's a meteor coming down soon. Like, meteor? Like, yep, it's supposed to wipe out everything. Like, fuck. And then it shows this little like rodent guy, and it was like, oh yeah, these are one of the documented mammals that lived around this time period. And reference to like the Cretaceous and shit. So like that's a thing. But yeah, I mean, what do you got to say, really?
Besides specific jokes,
quoting jokes, I guess.
I was gonna
like
quote
the panda
the donkey
loving
joke.
to be abused. Oh, the donkey joke? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean the zebra joke, sorry. But
the fact that the zebra's a donkey.
Yeah.
That's a...
She led a bunch of horses. And they're like, wow, she's so exotic.
Well, you know what the thing is? The word for zebra in Japanese is striped horse. That's the thing. It's shima uma, right? So it's like stripy horse. So like everyone thinks it's a horse because it just makes sense, and it's like, oh, it's the most exotic and cool of the horses.
But nah, that's a bushy tail.
But that's not a thing. And then Ranka tries to join her herd, and then that
she pretends to be a horse.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I like about the show that you can't get from the manga? It's the fact that everybody tries to make the animal noise sometimes.
Oh, at the end. Yeah.
That's legitimately funny to me. Like when they like when the panda shows up, and then the panda's like what was it? She eats all the food, and the koala starts screaming like making a really bizarre noise, and then the narrator goes, koalas make this kind of a noise when they're trying to scare off predators.
I was gonna say
or
at the
then
credits.
Immediately after he picks up the panda and goes like, get the fuck out of here, shitty panda, because he's a dick to all the animals. And I was like, get the fuck out of here, shitty panda. And she starts making another equally strange noise. It's like, this is a noise the pandas make when they're in distress. And I was like, thank you for attempting, voice actress. Thank you for doing it, Yusei Izawa.
I was gonna say
But yeah, and then the zebra thing. Go on.
Oh yeah, she just pretends she's a horse, and he's like, well, she's closer to a donkey, and he's like, what proof do you have, or whatever? Are you sure? Yes. And then he like grabs her tail and shows it to everybody. And
in
she
the
just
process
gives up.
pulling up her skirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes
And
like,
then she
"All right,
gives
you
up
see
being
this
a horse
tail?"
ever again.
Yeah, she starts hanging out with the donkeys or with the otaku. Also, you said they were playing Yu-Gi-Oh. They were not. They are playing Magic the Donkeys. So presumably it's Magic the Gathering.
In the
Yeah,
manga, it
they
looked
call
like
it.
Yu-Gi-Oh because she wore the
Yeah,
stupid cape
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
But I
That's what I thought it
mean,
was Yu-Gi-Oh.
it's magic, so it's like fantasy shit. Fantasy shit wears capes and stuff too.
She said it's time to duel, so I was like, alright, that's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
It's like
I
Yu-Gi-Oh
do
and
love
Magic.
that they went out of their way to go like Magic the Donkeys, and I was like, shut the fuck up, show. Shut up. You
I had
gotta be
donkey
lying to me.
stats.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Jim plays it one time. It's like, this game's so easy.
Yeah. This game is lame. Why do you guys play this? This is fucking easy. They're like, shut up! Shut up! Get out of here! You're the worst! I hate you! But then he also, like, buys extra ingredients to make them food. And they're like, maybe he's a cool guy after all. That's his whole thing! It's like he's a dick. But at the same time, he's very conscientious about others around him. So he's not gonna be, like, nice about it. But he'll help you out when you need it. Like, he told the wallaby how to beat the red kangaroo. Even though he came into it going, I don't want to fucking do this stupid boxing, but let the animal die. Let it die. But in the end, he gave it the secret to beating the red kangaroo in the boxing match. So, yeah.
So maybe he doesn't actually hate them. I think he was just bored, to be honest. I think that's why he like does most of his things.
I don't know, man. Ever since he got picked on by those bears in elementary school, he's never liked animals. Why else does he have like things ready at a moment's notice to fuck up an animal? He goes like, I learned these things about these animals to ruin their lives.
Yeah, but
that's what I mean.
Why'd he join
I think
Ranka?
he didn't. She kept insisting, and he's like, okay, you make me sad, so that's fine. Also, if you're basing it off the manga, she was the first person he had feelings for, although he refuses to admit that to himself.
Really? Is
Yeah,
that towards the end or something?
No, it's like chapter 12 or something.
Oh, when it told
the
me.
Girls,
Yeah. So no, I think you like
Nah.
Ranka.
Yes and no. It's a little bit after that. It's in the in-between where the girls are talking about the stupid bullshit, and they go like, hey, Ranka, who was the first person you ever liked? And you're like, that boy who saved me from bears. And they're like, okay. Not knowing that that's Gene, and that's why he hates animals, but yeah. And then he goes like, and they go like, do you have, what was your first love like? And he goes, huh. And he thinks back to leaving the park after he got beaten up by those bears and looking back at like Ranka's crying face and like going, no, I refuse to accept that.
So maybe he just likes dogs.
So yeah.
But hates every other animal.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them.
He never like explicitly tried to hurt Ranka, so I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think he hates
yeah.
her, at least.
Yeah, I think he doesn't like. I think when he says hate, it's a general thing for like, I don't enjoy the company of animals that are shitty, and he just tolerates everybody. But then as time goes on, he becomes more fond of them because he goes out of his way to help them with shit, right? So that's what I mean. He's kind of a dick about it, but he's really nice in the end, no matter what or who, really. Like with the Batgirl, the reason she ends up falling in love with him is because like bats don't really have a sense of taste because they drink blood. Well, vampire bats. She's a vampire bat. So vampire bats don't really have a sense of taste because they drink blood, and you don't really need a sense of taste for blood, right? So they kind of evolved away from that. And she comes to the cooking club. And like, cause she sees Hino's like bento, and it looks really pretty. She's like, "Fuck! I wish I could eat pretty things like that. I can't drink blood. I'm all anxious. Sucks." So she goes to the Ranka gets her to come to the cooking club, and then like he goes, "All right, you like blood, right? Fine, I got something." And he makes like a really beautiful liver dish. And he goes like, "Here, I didn't normally you drain the blood from the liver, but you're a shitty bat, so eat it." And she eats it. And she goes like, "It doesn't taste like anything." And everybody else is like, "It's so delicious." And she goes like, "God damn it, I'll never get to enjoy food." And then she pieces out. It's like a whole thing. And then after Ranka catches her from almost biting a person, because she's finally give it up. She's like, "Oh no." Miyubi goes like, you don't have to just rely on your instincts. You can be better than that. That's why we're here." And she leaves. But yeah, so after catching her from almost biting somebody, like Dean goes over and goes like, "Hey, shitty bat, eat this." And then he hands him it like a umeboshi. Do you know what that is?
Nope, no.
Yeah, no.
No.
Okay, it's so basically it's a plum, and well, it's more like an apricot, but it's kind of like a plum, and you like ferment it, right? And it gets super super intense sour, like it's crazy sour. So yeah, he gives it to her, and she bites it. She goes like, "Oh, this is sour." And Rebecca's like, "Hey, you tasted it." And he goes like, "Yeah, see, like they evolved past taste buds, but they can still probably feel salty and sour and extreme flavor and extreme taste." She was like, and he goes like, "See, you can learn to taste things. Stick with us and you'll learn something." And she was like, "That's great." And that's when she like goes like, "All right, I'm in now." Well, he like walks away and he goes like, "Yeah, guess I'll see you whenever. Bye, shitty bat." And she goes like, "I've never wanted to really drink someone's blood before. I've always been uncomfortable." And because he even says something like, "Yeah, the reason you don't want to drink blood is because you're afraid of hurting people, right? Like it's no big deal." And then so she goes, "Wow, I've never really wanted to drink someone's blood, but and she watches him walk away. Goes, "I kind of really want to drink his blood, though. Is that all right?" "I feel like I've come to a new place in my life, Mom," as she imagines her parents, who are a regular bat and an adult woman, because that's how this world works.
Every female's a human. It looks like a human. But I guess the whole blood sucking thing is the whole romantic thing too. Like in every.
I mean, I was gonna say there's a lot of vampire things where that's a thing.
It would be really dumb if they have the whole powers stuff going on though.
Well, like magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this isn't about that. She's not actually a vampire. She's a vampire bat.
They could have like a chameleon or whatever.
Yeah, but that's not a superpower. That's the thing chameleons do. Also, they don't really. I imagine, considering how like attempting at accurate this manga is, except for that one time the koala is like, fucking rips the gorilla out of the ground.
Yeah, because tons of force or whatever.
Yeah, they don't actually have 2 tons of force. It's an urban legend, but yeah, because they're in the tree all the time. That's why people are like, they must have incredibly powerful grip strength to like never let go of the tree no matter what.
I remember the tidbit when they said sloths sometimes grab their own arm and die because they thought it was a branch.
Oh, Miyubi's really sad. Miyubi's entire thing every 5 minutes. Oh my God, Miyubi's dead. I also do love that in the show sometimes they'll go out of their way to put in really big kanji, Miyubi shinde, like she died.
Miyubi.
yeah, and Uncle will just hold her and go Miyubi. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, like considering they attempt to be accurate with the animal stuff, presumably the vampire bat's just a vampire bat. It's kind of it. And the chameleon, if they were gonna do that, well, chameleons don't actually change based on their surroundings as much as they change based on their feelings. Like when a chameleon gets pissed, it turns itself black.
So
like,
based on surroundings.
That would be a whole separate thing.
What's
Probably.
What's that frog that hypnotizes people? Is that like a blue frog or something? I forgot. You could do that too.
That hypnotizes people?
Yeah.
Can't say I know what you mean. I know there's a joke about that in what's it called? In Futurama with the hypno frog, but I don't think that's a real thing. I know that there's a lot of frogs that can like super poison you and are very tiny. Like I don't think there is a frog that does hypnosis. I think you're thinking of the hypno frog from Futurama and confusing that with real things.
Maybe. Okay, it's not.
That's not hypno frog. It's hypno.
I meant a poisonous frog. Sorry.
Yeah. All glory to the hypno toad. Yeah, that's it.
But there could be like a poisonous frog.
So like I don't know.
I don't know.
You could do fucking
They have a lot
anything, really.
They have a lot of things.
Yeah, you could do a lot of things because there's so many animals in the world. Like the bonobo. The bonobo had its own chapter, and it could just come up repeatedly throughout the rest of the manga if they ever felt like it. Also, that chimpanzee that only showed up once to get fucked up.
The one that uses tools. I hate that chimpanzee.
I mean, they say use your thing, right? Like cheetahs have claws and horses have hooves. What do chimpanzees have? The knowledge to make tools. And it's like, well, all right, don't take out a gun. And it's like, no, it's a tool.
He uses a speedboat.
Yeah, speedboat.
And then a motorcycle.
Just a fucking jet ski. And we're like, let's go. Oh man, that's great. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have I do love the bit about the cat where they're like, oh, why is Nikomai being so shitty to me? It's like, well, cats don't like it when new people enter their places. So really, you'd have to figure out a whole thing. We can do this in one of two ways: either the panda fucking goes, or we figure out a way to make the cat comfortable. How would it make the cat comfortable? Generally, you just kind of like make sure the cat has priority, and they put the panda in the cage. I'm like, yep. Well, we'll figure this out. She'll get used to you eventually, probably. Bye.
She doesn't even do anything. Like I said, I don't like that character at all.
What, the cat?
Yeah. Why does she have authority over the club at all?
She doesn't. She's a house cat.
But
she
that
has
whole
no
episode
authority.
was dedicated over, oh, I don't like
No,
her.
it's because the panda wants the cat to like her.
Oh, okay.
That's her whole thing, is like, everyone else likes me, why don't you like me? Everyone likes me. Fucking like me. And I was like, well, cats don't fucking like people from minute one, so this is what we'll have to do. And that's why she's so hype when the cat gives her the naked mole rat. He's like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, well, the cats do that when they like people. It's like welcoming you. She's like, yeah, I did it. The cat likes me.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
I'm amazed the cat's a tsundere. Like, that's the thing that they did with the cat.
That makes sense.
I guess that's a way to think about cats. Also, the cat likes him. Yeah, that's another thing.
So it's okay. There's a harem.
It doesn't come up much, but yeah, no, because he's the one who goes out of her way to go like, no, fuck you, leave. And she goes like, fine, I don't want to be here anyway. And I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And like the cat will do things to try to get everybody else to go like, yeah, people love cats. Don't you love cats? She even starts with going like, oh, fuck, a guy and a dog. Fuck that. Because she's like she's not like a wild cat, like a jaguar or whatever. She's a domestic house cat.
I mean, I still don't like her. I don't like cats in general.
Interesting. I'm not fond of the animal itself. But that's because I don't like anything that's going to try to make me work. Fuck you. I don't like work. That's an overall stance I have. Like, I remember the conversation we had with a friend where it was like, well, do you like cats or dogs more? I'm like, I like dogs. And they were like, oh, I like cats. I'm like, why? And I'm like, because you have to earn their love. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking work to earn the love of a small thing I could kill with my bare hands. Fuck you. Like me or don't. It's really irrelevant, animal. It's really irrelevant unless you're going to kill me. Unless it's like a tiger.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, I want it to like me so it doesn't eat
up.
me. What?
The chain of command is messed up.
Yeah, fuck that. I am of the species that has developed things that have completely changed the world. Fuck you. I like dogs because dogs are like always hyped to see you and always hyped to do things. And then like they learn when you go like, hey, stay still. The dog stays still. And he goes like, yeah, okay, that's cool. It's all good. Speaking of dogs, Ranka's a wolf, but she acts like a dog. It seems to be the whole thing there. Like, she's a wolf, but she acts like a dog. And then her dad is an actual fucking wolf. So, are you going to keep reading the manga?
Yeah, I'm going to keep reading it.
Ah, okay. So, if you are, then you're going to see her dad, and he's like a literal fucking wolf. Like, just a wolf.
What clothes does he wear?
It's,
Does he have, like, a business suit?
No, he doesn't wear clothes. That's actually a thing that becomes a point. Because, like, when he shows up, like, he goes like, Ranka, you made friends with a human? Fuck that. Tell him to get out. And she was like, no. And then, no, I don't want him to get out. And he was like, tell him to get out. And she goes like, because she's a wolf. And, like, you know, like, pack animals. You listen to your dad and stuff. So he goes like, and then Jean cuts in and goes like, yeah, I'm leaving the club. Bye. And she was like, what? Wait, what? And we're like, I'm out. Peace. And, yeah. So then, like, that becomes a whole thing about, like, Ranka's getting pissy because Jean left. And Jean's pissy because she didn't stand up to her dad, but he gets it. And he told me he chases after Jean and the other girls are stuck with Ranka. But, like, in the interim, he's, like, just fucking going around because it's the north and it's, like, the woods and this is his domain. And he runs into the naked mole rat lady, right? The naked mole rat student council president.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and she sees him totally naked. And then she goes like, I like this. I'm into this. I remember the bit is she sees him standing from behind. And he goes like, oh. And he goes like, oh, do you need help? What's up? And he turns around. And then there's a part where like he goes like, wait a second. You look uncomfortable. I think I know what it is. Take off your clothes. And she's like, what? And he was like, take off your clothes. And he was like, okay. Which for naked mole rats, not having clothes is normal. But having clothes is filthy. And then he puts on like her tracksuit. It goes like, all right, is this cool? It's because I wasn't wearing clothes, right? And then she's like grossed out because he's filthy pervert. How dare you put on clothes in front of me? Because she's a naked mole rat.
So they have their whole exchange.
Yeah. the
I
bit
always
that
thought it
they
was
do.
weird that they're wearing underwear. I guess they have to.
I mean, I don't know. I guess that's their definition of naked, right? Just underwear. I don't know. I would say there is one bit about the show part of the naked mole rat president that I was interested in, because I don't remember that at all from the manga, and I reread it and I didn't see it again, and I'm like, okay. So I guess this is purely for the show, just like the mammoth boxing thing. Is when he's splitting the room with the student council president.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah, because they all had to. I don't know why. It was something or event.
There was a tornado warning, and they were like, part of the school needs to like move up into the other part.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're like, yeah.
Oh, the underground.
And he was like, yeah. He's like, why don't you just send them home? And they're like, shut the fuck up. And it's like, I mean, it would make more sense to send them home. Shut the fuck up. And he's like, okay, sure, whatever. So yeah, then he has to split the room with the student council president, and he told me he split her room with a star-nosed mole, which I only gathered because they're from the underground. They're kind of blind, and they have their eyes closed. And the pin that they have looks like a flower, and her name is kind of like a like blooming field. And I'm like, oh, it's because of the goofy nose of the star-nosed mole. All right, that makes sense. And yeah, so anyway, the student council president is in his room and is naked. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she goes like, what? This is my natural state. You're the pervert wearing clothes in front of me. And I was like, all right. Let's talk about this real quick. When we're outside in regular school, you wear clothes, right? She was like, yeah, and I don't want to. He's like, okay, cool, right. So why are you doing this to me? He goes like, what? This is my room. And he goes like, it is also my room. He goes, I only wear clothes in front of other students. He's like, am I not another student? Put the fucking clothes on. And as she puts on the clothes, it treats it like a reverse striptease, and her naked mole rat friends are like, how could you do that, you fucking bastard? You're disgusting. How dare you violate the sanctity of the student council president? It's like a whole thing in and of itself.
And they're also really small, those guys.
Well, yeah, they're sized to be actual naked mole rats. So,
except for the one girl.
Again, the girls are just people.
I know, it's always like, okay. Like, I see why you did that, but it looks wrong.
Like, do you remember the impala, right? The male impala is just an impala, and the girl's a girl with little ears and itty-bitty horns.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the giraffe Fujoshi.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I
Like,
gotta see these two.
Yeah, her brother's just a giraffe, and then she's a girl with like little ears and a tail. Like it's just, it is what it is. Or the hyena that just looks like a person. And then you see her dad. Her dad's a little hyena, and she has an older brother who was a beautician. Apparently, he went to beauty school. Good for him. Good for him to find a thing he wants to do in life.
I don't know.
So,
I mean, I like it, but it's the only thing that doesn't like fit.
What? Oh, the
Like,
fact that they're with people?
Yeah.
I think it's just because they're cute that way. Like there's no other reason.
I guess it makes for funny hijinks, I guess.
I admit the comparison of like an elephant shrew and an actual woman, and then they're dating, is kind of funny to me. Or the lion and the impala girl when they're trying to do cross-species relationship, and it's like an actual lion in clothes, and then a girl. That's fun. That's a fun idea, but only because it doesn't treat it very seriously. Otherwise, it'd be like a furry thing, I guess. But then, like, the idea is that it's kind of like when we were talking about Ishizoka reviewers, and it was like, all right, what % of animal are they?
Yeah, they're like.
And it's like 10%. The males are like, I don't know, like 80% animal, but the females are like 1% animal. It's a real hard divide. I don't know. All the parents are like that too, so it's just the nature of the world they're in. But yeah, I guess
I know it's
it.
a comedy. You shouldn't take it too seriously. But,
yeah. I mean, like, it's not a thing I think we're supposed to even consider. But yeah. So you got anything else to say?
I'm good. I think it's time for food.
I got one thing before we cut to that. The hyena. About the hyena, whose name is Hyena. It's Hyena. Anyway, yeah. The thing that I find interesting about the hyena is that the hyena acts like a guy from 1981. What is that based on? Like the hyena's idea of being a man is very antiquated, and the club members go out of their way to make fun of him for it when the hyena comes in and goes like, I'm a man, and it's like, yeah, it's like, man gotta fight. It's like, okay, whatever. Man gotta do this, yeah, whatever. And then Gene goes like, you have a very antiquated concept of what it is to be a man, don't you, hyena? And Hyena's like, shut the fuck up. And he goes like, yeah, I don't like fucking get your shit together, Hyena. Also, you're female. He was like, yeah, well, I have a dick. He's like, I mean, you kind of don't, but yeah, whatever. Like, no, I'll show you. And he's about to whip it out. And I was like, okay, look, here's the thing. Hyena females have like really large clitorises that look like dicks, so that's not how it works. And I was like, wait a second. And then the hyena goes through many memories of adult hyena women going like, are you still dressed like a boy? Yeah, why don't you dress like a girl? Because I'm a boy. It was like, oh, that's so funny. And then it's like the dad and the dad and her brother, and the dad's like, it was like, God, Dad, I hate how I look so feminine. It's like, really? You look exactly like your mother. And she was the strongest, most beautiful person I'd ever known. She was strong enough to take out lions with no problem, because hyenas and lions fight. And he was like, yeah, take out lions with zero effort. She was a beautiful, powerful, amazing woman. And the hyena just goes, wait a second! Wait a second! Fuck! And then decides to try to be female, only to run it back after Hino goes like, you don't have to. Like, be you. And I'm like, yeah, just be you. I don't know why your idea of man is fucking like from the Showa era, but whatevs.
Maybe she watched TV and saw that's what guys are supposed to be like.
That's so weird. But like, what shows were you watching? That doesn't make sense. Were you watching Friends? And everybody was like, oh, I'm not gay. And then you were like, that's what it means to be a man. Like, how did you pick this up? Because your dad seems pretty chill. Your brother seems pretty chill. Like, what's that based on? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why does your idea of man feel like it's taken from otokojuku, which is like not real life? What's that about? And then you have the balls to go up to people and go like, yeah, you're not a man. You're not like, I don't know, sakigaki otokojuku. And it's like, people aren't like that. It's 2020. Get your shit together. Stop trying to tell me I'm not a man just because I don't do this dumb shit you do. Shut up. Like, and the hyena just doesn't know what to do with it. Also, there's a bit in the manga way later where like an aardwolf, like a subspecies of mammal from Africa, is like, hyena, I want to study under you. Is like, nah, I don't want to lead anybody. It's like, nah, come on, it's gonna be great. And like, yeah, I'm not cool. And at the end, after a whole bunch of shit happens, they go like, why don't you want to be in charge of the your own group or whatever? And the hyena goes like, cause all the group leaders are women, and that'd be really weird because I'm a dude. It's like, this is dumb. Whatever, hyena. This is dumb. This is just dumb. You have a real weird obsession with gender roles, hyena. It's 2020. Get your shit together.
And aren't the guy hyenas usually like picked on?
Yeah, well, I mean, in hyena society, it's like female hyenas are bigger and stronger.
Yeah, they're on.
So they eat first.
Yeah.
So then, and then like if males get to eat last, and that's kind of it.
Oh, I read somewhere. I watched this thing. It said let the guys get picked on by the leaders.
Yeah, sometimes they fuck with them because it'll be like they'll try to eat and it'll be like, no, get out of my face, and they'll fuck with them. Like, males are the lowest rung of hyena society.
So why didn't she?
That's not what that doesn't make sense if we're still following the hyena's logic of I'm a man.
Yeah.
That doesn't. Yeah, but I'm saying the hyena has a weird obsession with gender roles for a modern climate. The hyena's like, men do this, women do this. Fuck you. It's like, hyena, just stop. Just stop. Just stop and be yourself. It doesn't need to be a thing.
Maybe some people are obsessed with like the future or whatever.
Oh, the hyena's obsessed with the 1980s.
Yeah.
The hyena's living what it means to be a man, as according to delinquent manga from the 1980s.
Yeah, maybe she's just too.
Okay, if that was the actual explanation given, if that's what we find out later about the hyena, I would fucking love the hyena then. Because that means that the hyena is like, this book is how life should be, and fuck you otherwise. That's like the guy who married his digital Miku house. Or I'm just like, you know what? You went all in a way I never could. You win. I'm out. I tap out.
What does he win? I guess he wins Miku.
Yeah, you don't remember that guy that married his digital Miku house? And
yeah,
said
I
people
remember.
Who don't are cowards. Yeah, where I'm just like, you know what? You win. I wasn't gonna do that. You're right. I am a coward. I would never do that. That's ridiculous. That's insane. So you win. That's how I feel. If they were reading like Rokutenashi Blues, right, and then the hyena was like, all right, this is how men should be. I'm going to live my life based on this boxing manga. I'd be like, you know what? That's great. You win. I'm not gonna do shit like that. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. I We're not doing that. You win. Also, the hyena in the anime is voiced by Minami Suda, who was in Idolmaster Cinderella Girls as Mihoko Hinata. She was in Yuru Yuri. And she was on Osama ga Seito Kaicho as Misumi, the student council president. That's cool. I like that.
That's cool. Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I don't really have much else to say besides, hey, there was other people here who were pretty nuts. Like the cat. The cat was voiced by Sora Tokui, who voiced Tenko Chabashira in V3. She was Nero in Tante Obra Milky Holmes, and she's Love Live. You know, she's Nico Yazawa. Nico Ni. That's the cat. Sora Tokui. So, yeah, like that's kind of pretty much it for me. So food, I guess, huh?
Yeah, there's not a lot to it, and it's sweet, but not really that sweet.
I mean, it gets to be more later on because it is kind of a harem thing. It just emphasizes the jokes more, so it is like defrag in that way.
So it's a fish, I guess.
Would you say this is pretty?
Yeah.
This looks nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. No.
Yes. Yeah. I said yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Because I'm thinking maybe we could do something with that idea.
Is it alcohol?
Nah, I don't know. Is it that weird? Is it that crazy? Like
No.
it's all within the one premise of animals. Like once you accept the animal thing, you don't have to really go new places. I don't think it's that weird.
I would say it's like a
It's got to be kind of sweet. Could be. What about a shrimp tartlet?
shrimp
like
tartlet.
Like you know what a tart is? It's like a little cake sort of thing.
Oh, so
Right.
it's like a
So
cake.
like a shrimp tartlet is sort of a little quiche made out of shrimp, and it has like cream cheese, but it's also like got salt and lemon juice and stuff. That's like it's kind of fancy. It's not an easy thing to find, but it has like a hint of sweetness because of the cream cheese and stuff, and they look nice. And I don't think it's the kind of thing everybody's in on.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, it works. It works.
Okay. All right. Well, shut the fuck up. It's time for the news. I guess.
Shut the fuck up. Alright, so I'll go first.
Okay, sure.
So two things.
No, I would say you go first
One,
if you have a thing
Indivisible.
already.
Yeah, Indivisible. They have this
really?
new Game Plus.
Yeah. I added co-op or something, right?
Yeah, you get to play as the other characters now.
That's cool.
And they have their own movesets and everything.
That's cool.
And
So, like, is it up to 4
I
people?
guess you get to keep Dar now. That's kind of cool.
Is it 4 people? Or is it, like,
Yeah, it's
less?
4 people.
Okay, yeah, because there's 4 in each thing, so I figured you would have 4 people. Alright. Have people already gone through the New Game Plus yet, or...?
Yeah, they already beat it.
Wow, yeah, I guess the game itself wasn't very long, so that makes sense.
Yeah, also the enemies are a lot harder, as you imagined, but I don't know, it's alright. I wish it was more like RPG, but it's not. Oh.
Well, I mean, from the beginning, we kind of knew it wasn't going to be because of the way the gameplay was going to work out and everything.
I thought there would be a level up system.
There is. It's just not very important. That's the thing.
Yeah, it changes your health.
Yeah.
Damage,
that's
I
kind of
guess.
it. Yeah, that's kind of it.
There's nothing to get, like, involved in.
Nah, there's no, like, nitty-gritty. There's no, like, fucking equipment system or whatever. It's just who do you like to fight with the best, and that's kind of it, really.
Yeah.
The platforming isn't as fulfilling as I want it to be, but it's still pretty fun. But I feel like that could go in, like, a whole thing a later date. And that.
Yeah, and the second thing was Skull Girls actually got an update.
Really? It's been a
They made
while. Yeah, what's changed?
They made the GGPO better.
Okay.
So now you can play with like people with like 200 ping
Wow.
in like Europe or something. And
Yeah.
it feels fine. It feels like a lot better than it used to be.
That's
really
really
cool.
good. Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
good. Anything else? Just like like any
no.
rebalances that are worth mentioning, or?
No, they didn't. He's not gonna balance anything anymore.
Oh, okay, that's done.
He said it's done. Yeah, he said the
All
game
right.
was done. So
All right, so I guess it was just like technical life improvement stuff.
yeah.
That's nice.
Oh, and
That's
they're
really
working on a
cool.
new character.
Really? Wow.
Mhm.
It's been so long.
So maybe that's when all the balance things were coming through or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, he officially announced he's working on a new character. So
That's
it's pretty
cool.
cool.
Was it on Twitter or was it where?
It was on Twitter, Steam.
Oh, there's an announcement on Steam.
Hmm.
Oh, that's cool. Because sometimes when you get stuff on Twitter, you're like, oh, that might be a thing. But then when you see like an announcement on an official page, you're like, yeah, it's definitely a fucking thing.
So
Yeah, that's cool.
he just has to finish Indivisible, I guess.
Yeah. Do you know if they're ever gonna do any other games, or is they just gonna go back to sitting on those for a while? Because they like Skullgirls is so fucking well polished. I'm not I'm not shocked that like you could go back
Um,
to it and do things.
I hope so, but there's no
I'm
announcements or
interested to see like what the next project could be, because Indivisible is really good. I fucking love Skullgirls, and they're very very different kinds of games.
yeah. I think Indivisible could have been a. We could talk about that later, I guess.
Yeah, we could talk about that at some other point.
But yeah,
That's
hopefully
cool.
they work on other stuff.
Well, my news isn't fun. It's kind of it's more of like a thing that we're both acknowledging periodically. COVID-19 is scary.
Corona?
Yeah.
I just downplayed it. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah,
Coronavirus is bad. It's not.
especially Florida, dumb Florida,
Mm,
opening the beaches.
yeah. Well, some places just aren't afraid. But here's what I gotta say: Japan is fucking terrified. I say this because previously there was a state of emergency declared in a few prefectures, right?
I
Tokyo,
thought
Kanagawa, Saitama, Chiba, Osaka, Hyogo, and Fukuoka.
a lot of people are scared to
And
go
it
out.
was like
so.
May 6th is when we're no longer in a state of emergency. I was like, okay. Fuck that noise. Shinzo Abe said everybody fucking no, everybody now. Everybody were on lockdown until May 6th, and it's like, oh boy, that can't be good. That now
Did he
they're
go to
like,
restaurants?
everybody double down.
There has to be like some essential people, like in U.S. or something, whatever.
State of emergency, Isaiah. Don't you know what that means?
It's a real state of emergency, not like U.S.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Fucking civil
How are they gonna get
unrest.
food?
Who knows? Basic constitutions do no longer matter. Shut up. Shut up is bad. Shut up, it's spooky. I mean
Too spooky.
yeah. It really is. I think I told you about this off the show. I'll mention it now. I got some phone calls from people telling me that people I know died, and I was like, "Whoa. That's fucking nuts, man. It's nuts." So, yeah. Japan,
God.
full state of emergency until May 6th, I think. May 6th.
I guess
Yeah.
they weren't tested,
As-
so the numbers are inaccurate.
As it stands, I don't know. Like a lot of people like to comment that the numbers might be inflated, but I feel that that's fear mongering. Like the amount of people that were like, remember in January where people were like, COVID's not scary. What are you worried about? It's not gonna do. And then we have like thousands of deaths in New York. So really, I don't know. I don't know. On a much
Because
more
I thought Japan was actually doing pretty well.
yeah. I
but
mean,
apparently not.
it's getting better in it, but it's still not amazing. A slight improvement is nowhere near a sign that we can relax. You know?
Yeah, it's not like New Zealand.
Yeah, South
Whatever.
Korea. South Korea has barely had shit going on, and that's good for them. But we're talking about places that are already infected, like Japan, China, and the U.S. Shit like that. So, yeah.
I can't believe China's going more down than U.S.
Yeah.
where it started from.
Yeah, they might get too cocky and put people back out there when it happens again. You can never really
That's why I don't
gauge
like
these
Florida.
kinds of things.
Don't go to the beach in Florida.
I don't really.
And the
go outside.
WWE.
Oh yeah. Oh man, they confirmed. I love that fucking God. Was it Roman Reigns? I think it was Roman Reigns. Like left, and everyone was like, "Why is he?" And then they're like, "Don't mention him on at all." And I'm like, what's happened? He's like, I have children and elderly people in my family. I am fucking leaving. I'm not. No. And I was like, okay. And then the management's like, don't say his name. Don't. No, we're not talking about him. It's like, okay. And he's like, my wife is about to have 2 twins, like a whole new set of twins. I can't afford to catch this shit. I'm out, y'all. And it's like, yeah. So yeah, that's some news, topical as it were. And instead of being down, I want to get hype. Let's get hype.
Now I'm not sure how to type anymore, but okay.
I have to get excited about
So-
something, otherwise I leave myself depressed. So
I know. What I was gonna say is, if you know, I'm kind of like a weeb. I don't know.
fuck, what a sentence.
Anyway.
I don't know if you knew this, but I'm kind of a weeb. You're on a show. Fuck. All right, now go. What do you what about it?
So I saw this thing in Japan about this packing company, and they're really like efficient. Like they have boxes for the plate and boxes inside the boxes, and like nothing breaks. It's like the most amazing moving company I've seen.
Was it a video? Or was
And they
it,
also dust everything.
what?
And they get like new pairs of socks to make sure they don't get dust in the house and everything.
So wait, question. Was it a video?
Yeah, it was a YouTube video.
Oh, okay. Was it by the company or was it by someone else who was like, hey, here's this moving company?
Yeah, they were moving stuff in their house and they just showed everything that
Oh.
they did.
Oh, okay. And they were just like, hey, check this shit out. Look at how nice and efficient this moving company is. Okay.
Exactly.
Is it one of those things?
It
I was going to
blows
say,
my
is it one
mind.
of those things where you just see it and you're like, this shouldn't be a big deal, but for some reason I really enjoy this? Yeah,
Exactly.
I totally get that feeling, man. You're just like watching something, you're like, this is oddly satisfying. Like, damn, this is kind of rad. Okay. Was it?
I wish we had that.
What?
I wish we had that in
Yeah.
US,
I mean,
but
no.
it's not gonna happen.
Well, you're more likely to get people who just throw your shit in a truck and break it. Like remember? Did you ever hear that story told by Wooly about how his third strike cabinet got destroyed by some movers? Yeah. It's fucked. Well, it is what it is. Is that it? Where you just like really like it was oddly satisfying? Is that really all it was?
Yeah,
Cool. No, that's cool.
I'm like,
Yeah.
like I wish we. Yeah. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
I like.
I never seen a moving company that efficient.
Yeah. No, I get that. I was trying to think of an example that I would have of like something that's also like, it's not something that's really important, but like you see it and you're just like, man, that's really fucking nice, you know? Sort of like I like to watch cooking videos sometimes, and I'll see somebody like perfectly peel an apple in one go, like just one round long peel, and I'll just be like, fuck that looks nice. It's not really, anything. It just looks nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing is nothing like that. My thing is a horror manga, because I'm on a show called Manga Palate because I like manga. That's So
You do?
this is what it's called. Tsubasa-chan kimi wa matchingu shita ona wa satsujinki. Which is sort of like,
What's it
Tsubasa,
about?
you're my murderer match, sorta. The woman I matched with is a murderer, something like that. So there's a guy, and he's on a dating app, and dating apps like Tinder and Plenty of Fish and whatnot. He matches with a girl. She seems cute. They talk. They have some good times. He keeps bitching about one person in particular, and then that person gets brutally murdered.
I guess she's in.
And
Is she already in? Dang.
yeah, that's chapter 1, my dude. Chapter 1 is the brutal murder.
But he keeps going out.
He
with her.
doesn't. No, he doesn't
Well, he
know
doesn't
her.
know her, I guess.
It's online, so it's like a match on Tinder. Like just
Yeah.
because you matched up with that girl doesn't mean you know her. You just talk to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's also surprising.
She's she's all
I
the
gotta
way
go
in.
through.
That's really what the manga's about. Is she's all the way in. He's bitching about somebody, and then they get super crazy murdered, and So now he's like trying to solve what the fuck is going on, because the person, the person's a murderer, and it's his fault, really, kinda. And there's an investigation into the murder, and they're looking into it, and it's him, his friend. And they're just like, they're just looking into it. And it turns out the person might be stalking him, and they know where he is. And another girl from his class is like, I can help you. And he goes like, okay, maybe. But then maybe she's the girl who's stalking him, because there's twists and turns. And it's pretty wild. It's only like 15 chapters in. And I'm interested to see where this goes, because it's...
She doesn't.
No,
have a
because
picture?
it's one of those things where like she take a picture, but she'll like blur out her face,
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. There's like 2 other people who have showed up. There's a policeman who's investigating him. There's like, it's a whole thing, man. It's pretty fucking crazy, and I'm really interested to see where it goes. So yeah, again, that title was Tsubasa-chan kimi wa matchingu shita wa ona wa satsujinki. It's real fucking long. I'm pretty sure if you just looked up Tsubasa-chan, you could probably find it. But yeah, it's like a horror mystery thing, and I kind of want to find out, because it seems like there's like 4 different people who could be it, and they're like all involved, and it's a whole bunch of shit. His friend had some stuff happen to him, and I'm like, well, this is nuts. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be the kind of thing that runs for very long. Might make it to 50 chapters, 60 chapters. If it finishes, I would love to do it for the show, because of how like really interesting the whole mystery part of it is. But yeah, that's kind of it. So
Is it? But is it really a mystery? Cause
no, you're trying to
oh, I guess
find
you don't know
out
what
who the girl is,
who the
where
girl
she is, how she found you, like all that kind of shit. Like he's trying to find her to get her sent to
Okay.
jail, because otherwise he might like. There's a cop who's like, I bet you were involved, you were connected to all those people who died, so I bet it has something to do with you. He's like, I didn't do it. I don't. Fuck. It's like a whole thing. Part of it's trying to lure her out and capture her. Part of it's trying to find where she is, who she actually is, because her name might not actually be Tsubasa, because like it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
You're trying to figure out who
Yeah.
the person is.
So I mean that's kind of it. I guess we're done, huh?
All right, this is back to the height thing. If it's like, if she's that in, why won't she just?
Well,
meet him?
because at this point, like he knows that she's committed murders, and like she's seen him, she's stalking him this whole time, sort of. Like yeah, like
Okay.
trust me, when she sees him hang out with a girl, and because they're investigating the murder, she's like, "Why are you hanging out with her? Don't you love me? Meet me here." And then he goes there, and then she's not there because she's actually planning another murder. Like it's a whole thing. There's so much going on, man. I feel like if I say too much, I'll already be telling you what's happening.
Okay, so I'm just gonna guess she's a crazy person.
Yeah, so
It's not supposed to make sense.
yeah, crazy
Okay.
person. So you know, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's it.
All right.
So this.
If you're here,
I mean,
guess you guys
yeah,
get it.
I guess. I mean, yeah. I mean, you guys get it. You're here.
Yeah.
You guys get it. Bye.
Thanks for listening.